Any distance from these sites, the increase is going to be insignificant, probably unmeasurable.
Okay, then I will call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. I think this is a substantial move forward for public safety in our county.
We're not against public safety. We just don't want this to cause more health problems. You know, there was a study recently done on Cape Cod where they found that in 45% of all the cases of breast cancer, the women had lived near radio or TV towers. So we are therefore doing a map. We're going to put it on computer. It's going to be interactive, and we're going to identify all the sites of licensed wireless facilities so we can identify them by frequency, by power density, and relative altitude, longitude, latitude. So we can calculate the exposure conditions to the nearby communities and compare the epidemiology study results that are being done by the Maroon Breast Cancer Watch to see whether these facilities, in addition to what else is already there, may be causing harm. Right across the Golden Gate in San Francisco, there is a huge 990-foot tower called Sutro Tower. It has nearly 200 antennas there already, and there are proposals to add to that infrastructure and build in HD TV antennas. Scientists say that it's very possible that residents far below and homes across the bay could also be affected by a radiating tower that's this complex that sends signals quite a distance.
I'm so glad that this conference is being held in a church, and it's being held in this church. This is my church, and 2.5 years ago there was a proposal to put a cell tower up on the cupola. Well, it didn't go up there. It took about 7 months for people to decide not to put it there, but in the process we learned a lot about this issue. And having the conference here 2.5 years later helps to confirm that we are making progress in getting other people to pay attention to this issue so wise public policy decisions can be made.
Electromagnetic fields are intrinsic to us. They are in us. We can measure them. Our heartbeat, you have the ECG. They are in us. They are us. They are intelligence. They are our cells. Your body is an antenna. So you absorb the radiation in proportion to the resonance between your body size and the optimal aerial. People find it difficult to understand how a very small magnetic field could change cell behavior when the Earth's magnetic field is so powerful. But the difference is the Earth's magnetic field in which our ancestors were living is a static field. When you take a field and you oscillate it, then cells that are changing with time have this oscillating field imposed on them, then that's what changes the behavior. You have 23 studies now showing epidemiologically increased brain tumour in EMR-exposed people. 4 of them only show increases in cancer. 19 show statistically significant increase in cancer, and 5 show dose-response relationships. That is a causal set of data. Where careful studies have been carried out near high-powered facilities, an increase in a wide range of cancers has been found. The most prevalent is leukemia, and a whole range of leukemias, from myeloid leukemias, lymphatic leukemias. But the class of leukemias is often found. It's found in military personnel who are exposed to radar and radio. It's found in ham radio operators. It's found in children who live near a transmission tower in Hawaii. It's found in the US Embassy in Moscow.
The Russians, between 1953 and 1976, irradiated with radio frequency the personnel of the US Embassy in Moscow. It wasn't clear why they decided to do this. And it wasn't until the ambassador came down with leukemia, and then a second ambassador who replaced him later came down with leukemia, that serious attention was felt, and samples of blood were taken and sent back to the U.S., and they were found to show increased frequency of DNA abnormalities, a failure to reproduce. The radio frequency sickness syndrome, which the Russians felt was one of the bases for their health protection guidelines, which were much lower than in the West, was reproduced in the embassy staff according to the criteria that were used in the survey. So one of the mysteries of the Cold War, why did the Russians irradiate the U.S. Embassy?